We have come a long way. Python, SQL, every mathematical concept like linear algebra, matrix, coordinate geometry, calculus, probability and statistics. And in our last video, we have learned about data exploratory analysis and visualization. We have looked through IRIS dataset from every angle, visualized using bar plots, box plots, histograms, scatter plots, pair plots and correlation heat map. And we have found something important, that is petal length and petal width, two most important features that separated the three species almost perfectly. Today is step 6 where all of that finally pays off. Today we take that same IRIS dataset and build a machine learning model that predicts. A real machine learning model trained by you, evaluated by you and built from scratch step by step. By the end of this video, you will able to train your first classifier. You will actually understand what is going on inside a machine learning model. What is machine learning model? Let's start with exploratory data analysis we have done in the last video. When you looked at the box plot of petal length by species, you could already tell if petal length is under 2 centimeters, it is almost certainly setosa. You did that with your eyes and the chart, and machine learning model does the exact same thing, except it finds that rule automatically from data, and it can do it across four features at once, not just one, and across million of rows, not just 150 rows. That is entire secret of machine learning. It is not magic, it is not black box, it is a pattern finding, the same pattern finding you were doing by hand and your eyes. Step 5 is just handing over to an algorithm so that it can do it faster and at a scale you never could do by your hand and by your eyes. A model has one job: look at inputs, we call those features, and learn rule that predicts an output, we call that label or target. Today, our features are the 4 flower measurements. Our target is species. We are staying with the same iris dataset, same 150 flowers dataset, same 3 species, same 4 features you have already explored in exploratory data analysis. You already know that dataset inside out, so it will be easy to implement machine learning model on that, and you will able to understand relationship between exploratory data analysis and the findings of machine learning model. Today you only need to learn what is new, the model. Let me switch to Jupyter Notebook and pick up exactly where step 5 left off. So here is our Jupyter Notebook. We are loading the same iris dataset as we have done in last video, loading it into data frame, see, with 4 features and 1 label, species. So let's learn the complete workflow for training a model. First step is data splitting. Choosing the first model and training it, then judging the model prediction honestly. But before we train anything, we need to talk about single most important habit in machine learning. Never test a model on the same data you trained it on. Here's why. If I let a model study all 150 flowers and I test it on those same 150 flowers, of course it will do it well, as it is already memorized the answer. But that tells you nothing about whether it can handle a new flower or it can able to predict new flower with more than 95% of probability, which it has never seen. That's not intelligence, that memorization. So we split our data into two parts, a training data set and the test data set. Training data set is the data set that a model is allowed to learn from, and the test data set is the data set whose data we hide from the model completely and only use at the very end to grade it honestly. Common split fare is 80% for training, 20% for testing, and remember our data set is perfectly balanced. So 50 flowers per species. When we split it, we want to keep that balance in both the training and test data set. That's why the stratify parameter is defined during code. As you can see, we have 4 features and 1 label, species. We are defining all the features to x variable and species to y, and now we are splitting our data with 80 and 20%. Test size is defined 0.2, that is 20%, and stratify parameter is used here so that both data sets are perfectly balanced. So here are the result. 120 flowers to train on, 30 flowers the model will never see until judgment day. This is the foundation of every honest machine learning workflow. There are dozens type of algorithm we could start with. All types of machine learning algorithm is shown in this mind map. I have taken this mind map from my website datasciencehorizon.com. I have already shared the link in the description box. But for very first model, I want to pick the one that thinks the way you have already done in step 5, that is decision tree. And here is the entire idea in one sentence. It asks a series of yes and no questions about your features, and each answer splits the data into smaller, purer groups until it can confidently name the species. Watch how close that is to what you already did in step 5. You looked at the box plot and said, if petal length is under 2, it is setosa. A decision tree asks exactly that kind of question. If is petal length less than 2.45, and if yes, walk down one branch. If no, it walks down another, asking a new question. Is petal width less than 1.75, until it lands on an answer. Under the hood, the tree is not guessing which question to ask for. First, at every split, it tests many possible thresholds on every feature and picks the one that creates the purest possible groups, meaning each resulting group is as close to as a single species as possible. There's the name for how it measures purity. It's called Gini purity. But you don't need the formula today. You only need the idea. The tree always asks the question that separates the species best. Because in background, it works by itself using the Gini impurity to split that data best in the best possible way. That is exactly why petal length and petal width, the two features you already identified in the pair plot and the heat map, are about to become the most important questions in our tree. EDA already told us where the tree would look. That is not a coincidence. That is the entire point of doing EDA before modeling. Now let's actually build machine learning model. In scikit-learn, every model follows the same three-step ritual: create, fit, and predict with it. Once you learn this pattern, it is identical for almost every algorithm you will ever use. That's it. 3 lines: create the model, a tree that is allowed to ask at most 3 questions deep, so it stays simple and readable. Fit the model, so it stays simple and readable. Let me show you this in Jupyter Notebook. So we have already splitting the data. Now we will do training on the trained data. See, this is a decision tree classifier we have used from scikit-learn library. This simple code only, and we are only using maximum depth of 3 here. Tree is allowed to ask at most 3 questions deep, so it stays simple and readable. And in fit is where learning actually happens. The tree looks at all 120 training flowers and works out the best question to ask. You can change the maximum depth as per your requirement, and by various hit run trial we come to this parameter 3 here. It is a small data set, so max depth 3 works here. So our model is classified here. Let's plot the decision tree but it is created. See, a beautiful tree. First question is asked by a decision tree is petal length is, if petal length is less than 2.45, Gini parameter is showing here. There are 40 of each species data is there. Total samples are 120. So if it is less than if it is true, then the class is classified as setosa, and all the rest 80 samples are classified as versicolor or virginica. So next question arises: if petal width is less than equal to 1.65. If it is true, it goes to the green side, and if it is false, it goes to here on the purple side. On the second, this is our third step. If now it again asks for the petal length. If it is less than 4.95, then the class is identifies as versicolor, and if it is greater than 4.95, then it is classified as virginica. And similarly, if petal length is less than 4.85, then its class value is Virginica, and if it is greater than 4.85, then again it is Virginica. So did you notice the first question is petal length, which is less than, if petal length is less than 2.45 or greater than 2.45. This is the same question we find from our eyes when we draw the box plot during exploratory data analysis, and model discovered it from data in fraction of second. Now it's time for making prediction and judging it on test data set of the 30 flowers of the model. Let's see in Jupyter Notebook. Now we're using the predict function for the classifier and calculate the accuracy score. We get the decent accuracy score of above 90%, that is 96.67%. But accuracy alone can hide mistake. It tells you often you were right, not where you went wrong. So we need a confusion matrix. We have drawn the confusion matrix to identify where the model got confused. So see, all the Setosa feature are clearly predicted. Out of 30, 10 were Setosa, 10 were versicolor, and 10 were Virginica. 10 were correctly predicted, but one versicolor is identified as Virginica. So here one is mistaken on the test data set. Diagonal value is where the model gets all right, and all the rest values tell you where the model got confused. This and you can also see from the box plot and scatter plot that there are some points where Virginica and versicolor were overlapping. We have also print here the classification report, where can you easily identify other metrics as well, that is precision, recall, F1 score. And you can see for Setosa it is all 100%, but for versicolor and Virginica these are variable. See, for versicolor precision is 100% and for Virginica recall is 100%. For reds it is less than 100%. One more thing a decision tree can tell us, which feature it actually relied on. If we look at the heat map, we can easily say that the petal length and petal width will dominate, and sepal width and sepal length barely matter. This let's see what our model is saying. So if you see here, we draw the feature importance chart here, bar plot here, and you can clearly say that petal length is the most important feature and petal width is also important feature, and sepal width and sepal length doesn't matter according to the machine learning model as well. So this is the model also confirming mathematically the exact same insight your correlation heat map and pair plot gave you during exploratory data analysis. Your EDA was not just a nice picture, it was a preview of what the model was about to learn. You get the basic idea, what is important, what is not important, and you get the fair idea as well. Is your machine learning model doing fine? Have you chosen the right machine learning algorithm to train your model? Before we wrap up, one warning. Watch what happens if I let the tree ask unlimited question instead of stopping at 3. Training accuracy shoots up, often to 100%, but test accuracy does not improve and even can get worse. This is called as overfitting. The model didn't learn the pattern. It memorized the training flowers, including their quirks and noises. It looks perfect on data it has already seen and shakier on the new data. This is exactly why we hide the test data at the first place. Without it, you would have walked away thinking you built a perfect model. But in real case scenario, when you try that model to predict the unseen data, your model fails drastically. So here we haven't defined the max depth. Earlier we used to stop at depth of 3. See, train accuracy come out to be 100%, but test accuracy comes down to 93%. So it is clearly the case of overfitting. So let's recap. Step 6, we took the iris data set you already explored in step 5, and for the first time split the data into training and test set. 120 flowers to learn from and 30 to judge honestly. We trained a decision tree classifier and watched it independently rediscover the petal length rule you found by eye. We evaluated it. with accuracy and confusion metrics, saw its mistakes line up exactly with the species overlap during EDA. We checked feature importance and confirmed petal length and petal width were doing almost all the work. And also we saw firsthand why testing on unseen data is the honest way to know if a model actually works. That is your first real working evaluated machine learning model built end to end from scratch. I have posted detailed article on this with another model as well, k nearest neighbor, trained on the same data set. You can go through that article on my website. Also, I have uploaded complete Jupyter notebook on my GitHub. You can check it also. Just don't check it, try with different features, different depth, length, whatever changes you can done, explore it more, explore with various machine learning algorithm. That is the only way to learn, and things will last forever in your mind. Here's the complete roadmap to build your first machine learning model. First, picks up the same iris dataset from exploratory data analysis and imports scikit-learn and defining features and the target. Second, splits the data in 80-20 ratio into train and test dataset using Stratify to preserve class balance. With the core rule, never test a model on data it trained on. Third, introduces the decision tree. It works by asking a series of yes and no questions, splitting data using Ginning impurity, and rediscovers the same petal length threshold that is quoted by you during EDA. Fourth, trains the model and predicts on test data that evaluates honestly using a confusion matrix and checks which feature actually matters via feature importance. Fifth, compares train versus test accuracy, shows the difference between a model that memorized the data and one that actually learned the pattern, plus how tree depth drives that trade-off. Always avoid overfitting. So download the complete Jupyter notebook from my GitHub and try it yourself. Change max step, try a different test and train split and see how the tree and the confusion metrics change. Try with different machine learning algorithms as well. If this video helped you to go from I have heard about machine learning to I have actually built one, gives it a thumbs up. In step 7, we are going to deep dive into how machine actually learns by building a real neural network. Follow Data Science Horizon so you don't miss it.